Hey, good morning. Hello, everybody. My name is Hal Walker. I'm your host this morning for Carry On. This is a show about traditional music and the people who make it. We are so glad you're here. You might say, so what is traditional music? Well, traditional music is music that gets passed from one person to the next, from one generation to the next. Traditional music has been passed down for many generations all around the world. It's music that reflects a culture. It's music that's born out of the people. And it's music that you don't often hear on the radio or on the TV. So we are glad you're here with us today to explore the world of traditional music and to learn about it. So today we're talking with Sujatha and Shriya Srinivasan, a mother and daughter team who teach and perform Indian classical music. So one thing about this show that I've loved is we've been all around the world. You know, we've been as close as northeastern Ohio, and we bring cultures from all around the world. And today we have Sujatha and Shriya joining us from Cleveland and Boston, and let's bring them on now. So let's see, where are you guys? Hello. Welcome.
Hi there.
Great to have you.
How are you?
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Would you each please tell us a little bit about yourselves? You know, we have students of all different ages and teachers and friends who may not know about you or the type of music you play. So give us a little introduction.
Namaste
Sujatha?
to everybody. I'm very happy to... Hi Hal, thanks for having us. Namaste, and I'm very happy to be part of this event. I am Sujatha Srinivasan. I'm a teacher, choreographer, and performer. I immigrated about 27 years ago, and I've been living in Strongsville, Ohio, in Cleveland. And this is my daughter Shriya.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here. I am a biomedical engineer living in Boston, and I work at MIT and Harvard Medical School. I've also been a classical dancer and vocalist pursuing these art forms for the last 20 years. And I run a small dance company called Anubhava Dance Company, comprised of first-generation Indian American youth. And we aim to bring socially relevant themes to life through the classical art forms.
Nice. So let's start by seeing a little bit example of your work. Would you remind me of the pronunciation of this word? I think I'll give it a try. It's Bharatanatyam. Bharatanatyam.
You got that, I think.
Was that pretty
It's
close?
called Bharatanatyam. Absolutely. You tried very nice. So Bharatanatyam, it is a beautiful classical art form. Natya means theater or dance theater. Bhava is expression, raga is melody, and tala is rhythm. A combination of all these put together along with storytelling is Bharatanatyam.
Nice. So I think the first example we're going to see is Sujatha dancing. Is that right? Let's see. Here we go. Wow, that's nice. So that was mother dancing,
Thank
and
you.
now here we have daughter. Let's watch Shriya dancing. Oops. There.
Drigdaka taka drigdaka drigdaka dalankutom drigdaka tajam tari taka taka tam taka jam tari taka taka jam tajam taka taka jam taka jam tajam taka jam naka jam kuku tajam taka jam naka jam tak tom tajam taka jam tak krtika tajam taka tiku krtika tom
शारदे करुणानिधे सकलानवाम्ब सदा जना शारदे करुणानिधे सकलानवाम्ब सदा जना चारणादिमगीतवैभवभूरि नागिररीतदे शारदे करुणानिधे
drigdaka taka dalankutom krtika drigdom dinnam ta drigdinnam ta tatte drigdinnam ta dinnam tari dinnam tari dinnam dinnam ta drigdinnam ta tatte drigdinnam ta dinnam tari dinnam tari dinnam dinnam tari da dinnam tari dai dinnam takkartakkargidom takkartakkargidom
धर्मभूषण भूषिते वररत्नमौलि विराजिते धर्मभूषण भूषिते वररत्नमौलि विराजिते शर्मदायिनि कर्ममोचनि निर्मलं कुरु मानसं शारदे करुणानिधे सकलानवाम्ब सदा जना शारदे करुणानिधे.
Wow, that's cool. I love how expressive it is. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Sujatha, how were you introduced to this type of dance?
I was introduced to this by my mother when I was about 6 years old. She herself had learned music, and she used to play the veena. It is an instrument just like the sitar. And she herself wanted to be a dancer but could not. So she made her dream come through me. So she initiated me into it, and I learned under several legends who were great gurus and performers themselves.
Amazing. And how long has it taken to, how long have you studied this?
The initial learning is about 10 years or more. So I studied about 10 to 15 years under several teachers. And I also studied the allied arts of music and percussion, and learned a couple of other languages too.
It seems very theatrical. Is it? I hear that it's kind of like musical theater. Would you tell us a little bit about Bharatiya? Bharatanatyam.
Bharatanatyam.
Bharatanatyam. There
Yes.
we go.
This art form is about 2000 years old. It started out in the temples, and it's one of the most popular dance forms. And it's a combination of dance movements, mime, melodic music, rhythm. Sorry, excuse me. Colorful costumes and jewelry. It dates back to time, and I'll ask Shriya to continue. I just want
So
to
it
catch my
dates
voice.
back to about 2000 BC and was initially a temple art form, but it became restructured as a stage art form in the 19th century and incorporated the aspects of abstract dancing and movement, expressive mime and storytelling. And so, in many ways, it is like a musical in which you can see an entire plot line come to life through the different characters and dance and music. And it's in many ways like a Broadway musical if you were to watch a big performance.
Yeah, the impression I have is that the music and the dance are very closely intertwined. So
That's
tell us
right.
about
That's
the
right.
music.
Bharatanatyam.
What kind of music are we
Yeah.
listening to?
Bharatanatyam is based on Carnatic music, which is a South Indian classical form, and it's largely based on a heptatonic scale system and incorporates lyrics for most of the songs. We have a fair bit of improvisation as well, and the improvisation uses notes, sulfa syllables, also lyrics, and it's traditionally performed by a vocalist who is accompanied by a violinist and a drummer. But there are also instruments like the flute or the vina or the violin that can themselves be the main performer. And so, similar to Western music, in which you have a seven scale system, we also have seven notes. So I'll just demonstrate. So, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. We have sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. But the big difference with Carnatic music is that we really emphasize the space between notes. So our scale actually sounds like sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Sa, ni, da, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. So we oscillate the notes a lot, and that's called kampita or gamakam. And so our music has that kind of lilting, oscillatory nature.
Wow,
And you'll hear that through these pieces.
that is amazing. Well, let's listen to another piece. Would you tell us the piece we're about to listen to? This is.
Sure.
Go ahead.
So, just like we talked about the concept of musical theater, in this you'll actually see a number of characters dressed up in different costumes. There's a mother of the main character, Krishna, who's a young boy, and one of the main gods, forms of the god that we have, holding that mudra that my mother is demonstrating. And you'll hear rhythmic syllables to which they'll dance. You'll hear the lyrics to which they'll be doing different actions. And so you can see a piece of this opening scene in this musical theater.
All right, let's watch. All right. So does this dance actually pass? Has it been passed down from generation to generation?
It is
How
pa-
does this dance get passed on?
it gets from the teacher to the student, and also people performing in several people watching performances, and we also do lot of lecture demonstrations, but mainly through teacher-student relationships.
And how old is the dance? How long has this been going on? This kind of dancing.
They dated back to 2000 BC, and it was it is said that our god of dance, Lord Shiva himself, was a dancer, and he is said to have taught sage Bharata, from whom several people learned, and they passed it on from generation to another generation, and it has been passed down since then to us, and we are the torchbearers of a style and dance form that is about 2000 years old.
Wow. And now it's become a very complex form of dance, like almost complex in the way that ballet is complex. And apparently
Yeah, it
takes
was
many years to
codified around
master
the
this.
19th. Sorry, can you repeat your question?
Well, I was just saying, how long does it take for someone to master this kind of complex dance form?
The initial basic foundation training is about 6 to 10 years. And then if you want to be stage worthy and you want to become a professional, you have to do about 10 plus years. And if you really put in 15 years or so, then you can become a really good professional dancer.
And is being a professional dancer sort of a new thing, or is that since this dance form is thousands of years old, was that is this new that people would actually be professional dancers?
Not really. See, as I said, because it was in the temples and then in the courts of kings, dance and music were part of the temple traditions, and dance were part of the king's courts, and he gave them money, land, etc., to keep the culture and the art going. So, in a sense, girls were dedicated to dance, and they would become temple dancers and make it their life, and be dedicated to that single art form, be it music or dance, from an early age. That has been there for a long time. And during the mid 19th century, this was codified, and what we see now as a stage art form got this shape and form during that time.
Wow. So my sense is that now that this dance is mostly performed on stage, where can you see dancers perform? Especially during non before the COVID was around, where would we typically see this dance?
We would see it on stage performances right here. I mean, in back home in India, in temples, in major festivals, and on stages. Here, we perform in several places in and around Cleveland, in the Museum of Art, diversity events, and also in many festivals that feature multiple art forms. And I have been presenting my dance form at the Playhouse Square and Cleveland Public Theater several times. And during COVID times, we were pretty much online and very active. And if you want to watch us, you can go on YouTube or on Facebook to our Shrikalam and the Dance page book and see us perform.
Great. Shriya, we have a question from one of our audience members. She says, what kind of dance, Indianist, would you find at a party or a street festival? Is this the kind of thing you'd see at a party or a street festival?
Great question. This is probably not the type of music or dance you would see at a party or maybe a street festival back in the day. Certainly for some festivals today in India, you do see this being performed on the streets, mostly music. But the dance has largely become more of an art form that you would find or that, you know, say you would go out for an evening show at a place, or post dinner, maybe you go to a ballet. It's very similar to ballet.
Okay. Well, Shriya, let's hear you sing something.
Sure, sure. So I'll sing a piece in a ragam, or a scale system called Jagan Mohini. So the scale goes like this. Sagama pani sa, sani pa ma ga re sa. So you'll hear lyrics in this song as well as these notes later. The song is in a cycle of 3 beats, so you can keep thalam, or the beat, with me like this: 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Shobillu saptaswar, shobillu saptaswar, shobillu saptaswar. Sundarula bhajimpave manasa, shobillu saptaswara. Sundarula bhajimpave manasa, shobillu saptaswaram. Nabi hritkantarasana, Nabi hritkantarasana, nasadulayendu. Nabi hritkantarasana, nasadulayendu. Sasa pani sani ba magani ba magari sani sasa magappa mani ba sani gari sa gama pani sasa pani sani ba magani ba magari sani sasa magappa mani ba sani gari sa gama pani sasa ba sani ba mani ba magama sa gama magari sa sani ba magari sa gama pani sa sani ba magari sa sani Gari sa magari sa ba mani ba magari sa sani ba magari sa ni sa gama ba ni sa ibani sa ni sa gari sa magari sa ni ba ni sa gari sa magari sa gama ni ma ba sa ni ba mani sa gari sa gama ba ni shobillu saptaswara. Sundarula bhajimpave manasa, shobillu saptaswaram.
Wow. The scale is so fluid. I love how you're just all over the place on that. I love that. So are there many people learning and performing this type of dance here in the US these days?
Yes, Al. Approximately about 30,000 people are learning in North America. Major cities which have a large Indian population definitely has a sizable volume of students learning it. And every parent thinks of it as an opportunity to connect with their heritage and roots. At the amateur level, about 2,000 dancers might be performing. At the professional level, maybe 200. It's a rough estimate. In Cleveland, per se, I can say that about 300 to 500 people are learning music and dance combined.
And since it's such an old form, is it constantly changing and evolving, or has it been same all these years?
Certainly, with any art form, influences of society affect the nature of the art form. The practitioners have a responsibility to not only maintain their traditions, but to cater to a new landscape and audience. Bharatanatyam is changing, I would say, to integrate with technology, online performances, and shorter durations here in the US. Themes are changing to address all social and communal happenings. Performances which took place in the temples and king's courts and festivals are now part of the diversity events, school programs, ethnic festivals, and online scheduled events, which may or may not be live. There's also the aspect of live music versus recorded music, or you can even say exclusive music versus pre recorded music, which is very generic and which is readily available, and for which we choreograph and make them accompany our performances.
So
One thing
if
I'd
one,
like to add is that Bharatanatyam is pretty versatile in its language. And so we've done things in the recent couple of years on global warming. We did something in response to the Black Lives Movement this summer. We've addressed the topic of women's issues. And so, because we have the hand gestures and the mime to really communicate with any sort of an audience, we can really adapt the art form to not only mythological stories and religious texts, but to current day events and themes that matter to us today.
wow. Well, I think for our last piece, Sujata is going to going to dance, and Shriya is going to sing. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Let's.
So we'll just explain this piece a little bit before we go ahead and dance it. And my mother will demonstrate the mudras and gestures that will actually convey the mime. So this is Vande Mataram. It's the national song of India. And Vande Mataram means salutation to the motherland. This was written by the poet Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. And it describes the landscapes of India, including the flowing rivers, the orchards, the breezy landscapes, the moonlit sky with twinkling, twinkling stars, all the blossoming trees. And it speaks of the land which nourishes the people that speak various languages and showers them with prosperity and happiness. Here is Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram. Sujalam Sufalam Malayaj Shitalam Sujalam Sufalam Malayaj Shitalam Sashashamalam Mataram Vande Mataram Vande Mataram Shubhrajyotsna Pulakitayamini Shubhrajyotsna Pulakitayamini Fullakusumita Drumadala Shobini Suhasini Sumadurabhasini Suhasini Sumadurabhashini Sukhadam Varadam Mataram Vande Mataram Vande Mataram Vande Mataram Vande Mataram 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 Vande Mataram. Thank you so
Wow.
much for
That
to
was
everybody for joining us,
beautiful.
and
What a
thank
treat
you,
that
Hal.
was. That was such a treat. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sujatha and Shriya, it's been a real pleasure to meet you and to see you dance and to hear you sing, Shriya. Sujatha, are you also a singer? Do you sing as well? Oh, wait, I muted you. Sorry, 1 second. There we go. What did you say?
Yes, I learned to sing and play the instrument, but my voice is not as melodious as Shriya, so I let her sing.
Well, it's so beautiful that this beautiful art form is being passed down from generation to generation. So Shriya, do you teach? You say you teach this? You teach the dance in Boston?
I have taught a bit. I don't
Uh-huh.
actively run classes here in Boston, but I work with my dance company
I
to
see.
choreograph and produce new works.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show. Everybody, next week we're going to be visiting with Sam Bartlett, a multi-instrumentalist who will share his knowledge of the tenor banjo. So be sure to join us next Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You can check out our upcoming schedule at carryontraditionalmusic.com, and you can watch all our previous episodes there and hear it right here on YouTube. So before we sign off, I want to thank the Northeast Ohio Musical Heritage Association for sponsoring this show. Laura Lewis, special thanks for producing and programming the show, and all the students, the teachers, and the folks for tuning in. Please help us spread the word of traditional music. This is such a great thing we've got going here, so spread the word so that traditional music can carry on. Sujatha and Shriya, thank you so much, and all the best to you.
It was a pleasure,
Thank you,
Hal.
Hal, and I thank Laura for asking us to be part of this program. I hope everybody enjoyed, and you can touch base with us on our Facebook page. And it was lovely to share our art with all of you.
Where would people find your Facebook page?
You can go to
Shri,
SKM Dance on Facebook.
Could you say that
That's our
again?
handle. SKM Dance on Facebook.
Okay, SKM. I'm going to type that out so people can see it. SKM Dance on Facebook. Is that correct?
That's right.
that's
That's right.
correct.
Perfect.
Okay. All right, I'm going to play this closing little music. Everyone have a great day. Shriya, please stay on for a second. I'm going to want to say bye to you in a second. Have a good day, and thanks for joining us.